Hey, everybody. Welcome. How are you today? Okay, welcome to Stress Reset. So grateful for you being here and joining us to wrap up week number 2. We have 4 more weeks, like almost halfway through. So crazy. These things seem to just fly by. So, if you are new to Stress Reset, here's what I want you to understand. Our goal today is not to avoid or fix or try to shove down or ignore, move past stress. That's impossible. Instead, what we're hoping to do today is open up the nervous system, create some internal signals of support, help you to tone the nervous system, preparing you to contextualize, understand, metabolize, and move through the stress cycle. Today's class in particular is going to be all about neck, shoulder, chest, shoulder blade stress. Why? Because you asked for it. So if there is something in the way of body area or a thing that tends to stress you out, leave it in the comments. Send it to us. You can email me at james@jamescrater.com or Western Health Advantage. Alicia will be on at the end, or you can just ask Alicia. You can put it in the chat, and we will create a class all to do with that. So if you're new, get comfortable. And comfortable means how would you sit, lie, be if you were going to watch TV for X amount of time? If you're going to read a book or just lounge, do that. No need to sit up, no need to do anything. If you are returning to Stress Reset, thank you for joining us. We're going to start off with a little bit of breathing today, and then we're going to go into our nervous system warm-ups, and then like I said, we're going to move through some areas up here and end with some meditation work or some natural awareness, mindfulness, embodied stuff, kind of building upon what we did on Wednesday, the freedom process. So here's what we're going to do. You are going to take your right hand. You're going to put it where your heart is, or where you believe your heart to be. You're going to let your left hand be on top of that hand. As you inhale, I want you to imagine that your right hand gets so big that your left hand has to sort of open up. As you exhale, left hand gives right hand a hug and they get smaller. Inhale, right hand gets bigger, left hand opens up. Exhale, left hand hugs, holds right hand as both get smaller. What's happening? As I inhale, my chest, my lungs, my heart get big. On an exhale, there's an internal hug that is available to me all the time. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, the sensation of an internal hug. Then you can have your left hand be the heart. Right hand is now your right lung. Same thing over here. What I want you to sort of consider is, what would it feel like to receive the most nourishing, good feeling, satisfying hug that I could possibly receive? Then go inside. What would it feel like for your lungs to give your heart that kind of a hug? Inhale, lungs, heart get big. Exhale. It doesn't work if you're up and you're here. Doesn't work if you're too kind of slouched. It only works if you allow your body to respond. Two more. One more. Bring your hands together, get them warmed. Once your hands are warm enough, that's for you to decide. You're gonna take and place your nice warm hands on the front of your throat, and you're gonna continue that breath. That breath, the sensation of, oh, it would feel so good to be touched like this. It would be so good to feel like this. It would be so good to be hugged like this, is the scent you're after, is the guiding light. Couple more breaths. Right hand goes on left throat. Big heavy hand drags to middle as I twist my face to the left. Other side, big heavy hand drags to middle as I twist. Big heavy hand. One more big heavy hand. For today, you're gonna pick your favorite hand. You're gonna put it on the opposite collarbone. And you're just gonna do a little massage, just a little bit of tracing through that collarbone. And then today, we're gonna go down into the pec, the breast tissue, and sort of massage through there. We hold an awful lot of stress through the pec, the front of the armpit, through the front of the shoulders. And here's often when I hear people say that they hold their stress in their neck and in their upper back, it usually is that they are doing some sort of daily activity that requires them to sort of be forward like this. They work at a computer, they do dental work, they are some sort of an artisan, they are constantly bent over taking care of children. And today's practice is all about kind of opening up, looking around, getting the back body to contract, to open up. And it's gonna start today with just a little bit of pec massage. Now, I'm gonna take my hands and I'm sort of gonna grip so that my fingertips are in my armpit and my thumb is somewhere on my pec tissue, the chest muscle. I'm gonna lift my arm and I'm gonna kind of pull this pec muscle away from my armpit and I'm gonna set down my arm. Again, I'm gonna lift my arm, I'm going to pull all of the tissue that I can manhandle there away from my armpit as I go down. Couple more. Then I'm going to take my other hand, I'm going to trace the collarbone all the way through. Down into the ribs, the chest, the breast tissue. That hand is going to grab a hold of the pec muscle, whatever you've got there. Arm is going to lift, it's going to pull away from the armpit as I set it down. Again, I'm going to lift, kind of pull a traction and back down. One more. Good. Just kind of be there for a moment. Then take a hand and kind of tap on the chest bone, the sternum. Just tapping, tapping, tapping. Good. Now you can take some fingers, start to massage in through the jaw. This is a very important area for all of the stress responses, but we're gonna do something. I'm gonna guide us through an experience that is extremely helpful for my body, and you can choose to just do this generic massage, tapping, or I'm gonna come a little closer to the camera so that you can sort of see what's going on here. I'm gonna take some fingers and I'm gonna literally kind of pinch my jaw here and just kind of pull and stretch, pull and stretch. Here's what I want you to realize. Some people don't like doing this because they think, oh, it's going to give me wrinkles, or oh, it's going to make my face. This is actually going to increase the collagen in the face. So this is actually going to make you look younger. So you get a twofer here. Stress release, which less stress, younger looking anyways, and collagen production. So I'm just sort of going in, little bit of pull. Something that feels therapeutic, not something that hurts, not something that you could just do all day without noticing it, but something where there's like a little bit of personal therapy going on. And then you can go back into the rub there. Now, let your head drop, and you're gonna let your right ear find your right shoulder, and then left ear find your left shoulder. If you notice, I'm choosing an action that looks and feels like a pendulum swing or a rock versus watch me stretch my neck. There's nothing wrong with a neck stretch. It's just not what we're after today. We're after just sort of, oh, look at that. There's a freedom of movement to the best of my ability today. Swinging, swinging, swinging. Now I can let it start to take more of my body so that my ribs and my head kind of go together. Good. Finding your center and just shake your hands up and down, forward and back. I'm just shaking, 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 shaking. Now, before we get into the specifics of metabolizing and moving stress through the upper body, I have to say this again. I said this the other day, and I have to say it again. Most jaw, neck, shoulder, and in particular shoulder blade tension, stress, inability to move through those cycles happening up here is most certainly happening because it's being avoided, not processed, not worked through down here. So that's why in this class we spend so much time working with the legs, the pelvis, the belly, the breathing, the back, all of that. Because until these big meaty areas really process this area, you're just gonna fix it. You're just gonna sort of put a Band-Aid on it and it will keep coming back. So consider what we're doing today sort of a way to sort of let that part of the body reintegrate, reorganize itself, become part of the picture, get you out of some pain responses and moving through it that way. But at the same time, knowing that, oh, I gotta be doing that like lower body stuff that we tend to do a lot of in most of the stress reset classes. And the more I do it, the more this will self-organize. This is super smart tissue in the body. It knows what it needs to do there. So having said all of that, what can you do from sort of ribs up? Let's start with the most basic. Well, the most basic. As I mentioned, when I'm working with people that have that up there, most of the time it's because we're bent over and we're sort of staring at computers, we're staring at teeth, we're staring at art, we're micro-focused at whatever it is we're looking at. So to set a timer, to program it into your day, to simply sit up and look around your room. This is in particularly important with the Zoom culture we find ourselves in, with the computer culture, in cubicle culture. This is going to solve 75% of that stress. Literally looking around the room. In particular, looking behind you. Even though you may feel safe in your office, at your cubicle, in front of your computer, you're like, I'm in the extra bedroom, I'm in the office, I'm safe. Your nervous system is constantly picking up information from all around, and it wants to know what's behind you and around you. So simply looking, but we're going to be really particular. Instead of staring at what's in the room, allow your eyes to soften as if whatever is in the room is coming to you, and your eyes are truly windows receiving what's in there. Soften your vision and let your eyes receive what's in the room instead of actively looking. It's nuanced and it's not just semantics. You can feel the difference when you're like staring and looking at something, or when you kind of soften your eyes and allow the room, the environment to be received. Then I want you to look forward. Allow your eyes to receive whatever information, whatever images are coming forward or coming to you from forward. And then I want you to use your peripheral vision. It's like I'm going to just kind of see what's here. Now, here's where some people are at a disadvantage. Thank goodness we have glasses. It allows so many people to be able to see and go around their daily activities. However, if you are somebody who relies on glasses to see, you are at a disadvantage here because your peripheral vision is sort of blurry, it's sort of fuzzy and hazy for some people. So, to the best of your ability, just let your nervous system calm and receive, even if you can't make out details. Is it light? Is it dark? Is something moving? What can I notice? And just let your nervous system sort of absorb that. It sounds so simple. And it's like, well, how is that affecting my neck and my shoulders? It does. It does, because it gets us out of that moth to the flame look. So just dilating, open, breathing, internal hug, open to the experience, little jaw massage. Start there. Now, from there, one of the biggest actions you can do, we often forget that our neck is part of our spine and we don't move through it well, or we rely on it to do the majority of the movement. So this one I call neck on, neck off. So you're just going to sit tall. Imagine you don't have to squeeze, you don't have to push. How would you hope to sit in a very important interview, meeting, conversation? What would be sustainable enough, but have a posture of authority, a posture of presence to it? Then, what would happen if your jaw softened and your neck just turned off? Not so much that the rest of your body turns off, the rest of your spine, just your neck. And then how would it come back on? As if you were maybe a little robot who was active, aware, and then someone turned off head and neck. Someone turned it back on. When you go to sit back up and you're in your posture of presence, how tall are you? Like, think about it. I'm 6'1". You might be 5'5". You might be 4'10". You might be 6'7". I don't know. But as you're sitting there, can you be as tall as you are from the back of your neck? Not from the chin, not from the forehead, but from the back of your neck. I want to sit as if I'm 6'1" from the back of my neck. Then choosing, can it go off? As it goes back on, I'm 6'1" from the back of my neck. As I do that, I feel awareness, contraction, aliveness all the way down my spine. Then I turn my head off and I decide to turn the rest of the spine off. I turn the rest of the spine on and then the neck. Neck off, spine off. Spine back on, 6'1" or however tall you are. As I sit up, I'm just going to intake whatever is in front of me. Then we're going to take both of your hands behind the top of your neck, the bottom of your skull, like so. I'm going to have my elbows opened up wide. You don't need to sit in any particular style to have this work. Sitting in a chair, standing works just fine. I'm going to open up my elbows. For me, as I do that, I push my head into my hands into my head, and I can instantly feel contraction between my two shoulder blades. There's an awareness there. There's a little bit of work. Then I'm not going to let a single bone in my body move. What I am going to do is let my eyes totally look to the left. And I'm going to be there. Now, I'm inclined to let my nose go, but I'm going to try to keep my nose forward and let my eyes look. Now, keep doing that. Keep doing that until you feel a breath change. Maybe there's a yawn, a sigh, a breath, or you swallow differently, a gulping swallow, repeated swallows. Your eyes begin to flutter, or you feel your stomach digest, or even better, if you can get so nuanced that you feel your nervous system go, that's enough. So I'm going to look until I feel one of those internal signals. I'm either swallowing differently, breathing differently, digesting differently, or just feel a difference. Then I'm just going to relax. I'm going to open back up. Head into hands, hands into head, elbows wide, and I'm going to make my eyes look to the right. Now here I'm inclined to sort of cock my head. So I've really got to pay attention not to let bones move. To the best of my ability today. Right is way harder for me to do. When I do that, I feel all of the areas that I would normally hold tension. For me, it's my left rib cage, it's my left shoulder that wants to come up, it's my right hip, but I'm just gonna try my best to be here. I've decided that posture does not support me, so I'm gonna crisscross my legs. Just had a yawn, so I look forward and I relax. Just gonna allow my body to move side to side. What we're doing with that is directly working with the vagus nerve, and in particular, how the vagus nerve runs up and interdigitates with some of the back of the neck and in the eyes. That's fancy words for how my body knows it's safe, knows it's supported, knows is it stressed or not, to the left and to the right. It's a way of integrating that and sort of resetting stress levels. It has all to do with nerves. Those feel very, very important. Here's another one. Crisscross your hands. Grab a hold of each wrist and gently tug on that. There you should feel some sort of contraction in the back of the body, in between the shoulder blades. We're just gonna hold there. It's a gentle tug. This is my left side here. So I'm gonna gently pull through my left, and I can feel some left shoulder blade. I'm not letting my ribs go. I'm just pulling the arms. Then the other side is a gentle pull. And there's a gentle pull. And there's a gentle pull. Then I can go lower. Gentle pull. Gentle pull. Gentle pull. I can go up. Gentle pull. Gentle pull. I can crisscross my arms the other way. Gentle. And then just swing. All super simple options to sort of open up the nervous system, get that tissue to be moved through. Then slide your legs out in front of you, whether you want them straight or bent, totally your choice. Arms are behind you, full schlump. From there, I'm going to push down so much that my chest gets big, my belly pushes forward, my back arches, and here I am. This is why we started with that pec stretch, that chest stretch. Big inhale. And then sink. Again, push. most bodies make the mistake of when they feel stress in between their shoulder blades, they go into some version of stretch back there. And that's often not what's needed. Often what's needed is contraction or to be met with force. Because remember, as we said in the first week, stress down in the legs is really flight. Like I want to run, I want to move. Stress in the upper body is more so indicative of fight. Like I want to push. I want to hit. I want to meet some force. Stress up in the neck, the jaw, and the head is often to do with like tunnel vision. Now, lifting, hold, bend your right elbow, and you'll notice your chest rotates to the right. My left arm is still fully pushed, and I'm gonna let my head sort of move. Take an inhale. Exhale. Other side. Push. Left elbow bends. Eyes look for something. Big inhale. Other side. And relax. Lie on the floor if it's available to you. Open your arms wide. Palms will face the floor. Gently push the floor down with your arms, and imagine your hands could pull the floor closer to your body. So here and pull. I'm not moving. It's push down, traction. I can feel my shoulder blades start to pull together, and I'm gonna hold, hold, hold. Can I relax my jaw, my pelvis, and then release. Lift your hands up and relax them there. And just maybe allow your hands to sort of release, relax. If they want to tremor and move, that's fine. You're just sort of holding it there. It should feel awkward, strange, different for your shoulders. Shouldn't feel strong or organized. It's almost relaxed. Then go palms up. Push down into the floor. Traction together. Now you can notice I'm not arching my back per se. I'm not pushing as hard as I can. I'm just trying to wake up that area in between the shoulder blades. And then fully relax. Lift your arms up, and this time just make some little circles. Reverse your circles. Open your arms. Left hand reaches over to right hand. Knees can move a little bit. We're not going to let them fully go. And then you're going to come back. Right hand reaches over to left hand. Maybe there's an inhale that lives there and an exhale. Left to right. Right to left. Go ahead and find your way up and end with another arm shake. Shaking, 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 shaking. Let it just shake through the body. And be there. Now, at the top of the hour, I asked, what thing stresses you out? And how does your body respond to that? We have one answer in the chat, and that's change. So I'm going to use the word change here. We had our freedom technique on Wednesday. We had it all to do with spaciousness. So if you're new, I want you to go inside of your body and think to yourself, where feels exceptionally spacious in my body? You can use the phrase, I am spaciousness and freedom. If it feels, no, I'm not, use the phrase, I'm resistance to spaciousness, and I'm also freedom. I'm resistance to spaciousness and freedom. For today, I want you to pick what you are most bristled by, what really gets you. I'm going to use the word change. I am change and freedom. If that feels, no, I'm not, it tightens you up. Use the words, I'm resistance to change and freedom. Maybe yours is arguments, financial stress, the pandemic, my cousin, my sister, that person at work, Bob at work. What really gets to you? And how can you begin to go, oh, I'm okay with being in that space because it feels like freedom now that I have more internal support, now that I can let things move through me. Remember, top of the hour, we're not about fixing things. We're not about avoiding things. It's how can I be within something that stresses me out without having to be stuck in the stress cycle. I am change and freedom. I'm resistance to change and freedom. Whatever yours is, practice that. You have 3 days over the holiday weekend, and we have until next Wednesday. Keep practicing that. What am I resistant to? Do I even know? Or do I just surprise me? Oh, now all of a sudden I'm stressed. What triggers me? And how can I learn to be in relationship with that? Because now I know how to let stress metabolize and move through my body. It doesn't get stuck in my neck and in my shoulders. Because stressors are always going to exist. Stress exists in the body. And the more you can process it from a body-centered perspective, the more you can move through a life that sometimes has stress and sometimes doesn't. And that is your class for today. So thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you found out some new tips, some new tools, some new strategies today. And hopefully you join us next week for 2 more move labs and 2 more stress resets. I will stick around for some question and response time, and I hope you do too. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, James. I just realized I don't know what stresses me out. I just know I start feeling stressed. So then that means I need to become more aware of what's causing the stress.
That would be true.
I need to figure it out. We had some answers. There are some family members that cause stress and noises that cause stress.
Yep, the sensory processing disorder. Yes. So with that, someone in here said they have a sensory processing disorder and they get stressed out by certain sounds when they can't get away from them. For example, leaf blowers. Learning, processing, we don't think enough about what our body actually does. Our body is like a tuning fork, constantly picking up information through our eyes, through our skin, through our taste buds, through our ears. And sometimes there are these central nervous system processing disorders where things get too loud. I am someone that if I get stressed, sounds get to be too much. TV is too much, radio is too much. The sound of human voice, which is really interesting because that human voices are a mid-level frequency and that should calm us down. But for me, when I get stressed, the human voice stresses me out even more. I have to go outside and be in an outside space. Something that I do in my practice is when I exercise, I will stimulate some noises, meaning I will put on some irritating music every once in a while and just see, wow, can I be okay with this? What is the therapeutic grade of that? Because exercise, movement is also stress on the body. So see if you can put yourself in positions. I'm not saying trigger yourself. I'm not saying, just turn on a leaf blower and good luck. It's what kind of, if you're not into country music, if you're not into rap or jet, whatever it is, can you put on a little bit of that and do a little movement? And can you learn to calm yourself there so that your system has to learn how to organize that sound?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I have a little bit of sound sensitivity too.
A lot of people do.
No.
A lot of people do.
And especially when I'm stressed. So then you have the stress and then you have the sounds on top of it, and it's just too much. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Confrontation and self-doubt. Thank you, everybody. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you for these comments. Being overwhelmed.
Okay, so we have a comment here. Not sure if this is in your wheelhouse, but do you have any ideas for someone who clenches their jaw overnight? Yeah, so that's a big one. There's a lot to say on that. Number one, it's often to do with positions that you're sleeping in. So for a lot of years, we thought sleeping on our back was the best idea, and sleeping on your back is actually like the worst position you can possibly be in. The best, ideally, you move around at night so that you're not in one position, but if you're someone who requires one sleeping position, sleeping on your side is the best, followed by sleeping on your belly, followed by sleeping on your back. Sleeping on your back is the worst, because what ends up happening is the jaw and the tongue and everything kind of slides backwards. The mouth tends to open, you mouth breathe, and then the jaw also clenches to sort of keep that from happening. So there is that going on. There's also generalized stress. You have your trigeminal nerve right there, one on each side, that innervates the entire face. It comes up from the vagus nerve, so it's a nerve of stress. Doing any of that jaw thing there. Also, throughout the day, eating difficult to eat foods. So what I mean by that are whole carrots, whole apples, leafy greens, oats, hard bread, hard meat, things that require extreme mastication. We've turned into a culture that enjoys like soft lettuces and soft bread and smoothies. And what that does is sort of deconditions through here. And this wants to chew, wants to move. So some options there. And then I find having a sleep ritual before you go to sleep so that your body knows now is the time to sleep is also really, really helpful. We can talk about that later.
Great. Yes, I clench my jaw too. I've got to figure that out. But I'm a side sleeper, so that's good.
Yeah, I was a back sleeper for a number of years until I heard that. And then I was like, oh God, so I am now a side and belly sleeper. So you can change.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, everybody. Looks like our comments are wrapped up. So we hope that you have a fabulous 3-day weekend. Stay hydrated, rest, relax, have fun. We are starting the summer.
Stay hydrated. That Monday is not going to be nice, y'all.
Oh, it's going to be hot, huh?
I think it's hot. It's like 107 in Sac.
All right. Well, stay cool and drink your water.
Yep. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.